Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and the upcoming segment is from our full Fast Break podcast that we recorded. And if you do want to check out that full podcast, head over to Blog Talk Radio /The Fast Break. You'll be able to find the full podcast over there. But let's move on now to my favorite team in the NBA, the New York Knicks, and there's a lot revolving around them. I didn't want to talk about them because I don't give a fuck about the Knicks.
We have to, Sean.
It's
what
what
the people want.
It's a dumpster fire. It's a slow-mo car crash. You just got to watch.
You can't look away. You can't look away.
And to catch people up, I know you guys most likely know, but just in case you've missed out in the past couple of weeks, on Wednesday night, the Knicks were taking on the Clippers, I believe, at MSG, and in the first quarter, about 4 minutes into the fourth quarter, Kristaps Porzingis is shooting free throws, and after the first one, Kristaps looks back and looks over, and then the ESPN camera pans over to Charles Oakley, the Oakman, who was a great New York Knick back in the 90s and former Chicago Bull.
Yep.
He was pushing security out of the way and getting into an altercation with security, and then was escorted out. And then he got arrested that night. And everyone's like, "What is going on?" And then also there's the whole stuff with Oakley and Dolan, but there's also separate stuff with Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony, where Phil's calling Carmelo Anthony out on Twitter. He's just pretty much tanking.
He's confirming tweets about trade rumors.
Yeah, he's just he's leaking stories to the media about Carmelo being traded, how they want Kevin Love, and it's pretty much a complete shit show in New York, and I am sick of it.
Because, where do you start? Where do we even
real
start?
quick, I'm going to say one thing, and I'm going to say that the New York Knicks are the worst run franchise in NBA history.
Why?
Give
me some reasons.
Look at since 2000. Okay, first off, no, actually, let's go back to since 1973.
I'm not disagreeing. I just want to hear why.
Because since 1973, they have not won an NBA championship. All right, they've gone to, I believe, the NBA Finals twice since 1973. Mm-hmm. Around then, I'm not entirely sure about that, but I know they haven't.
Our listeners will tell us.
I know they haven't won an NBA Finals since 1973 or 1972. B, you lucked into Patrick Ewing because that draft was rigged.
You mean rigged into, not lucked into. You rigged into.
It was rigged.
You benefited from the rigging.
Yeah, rigged
getting Patrick Ewing, and then you weren't able to do anything with Patrick Ewing. You had terrible. What?
Can I interject for 1 second?
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't able to do anything with Patrick Ewing, but they literally ran into the best basketball player of all time.
Okay, well, what about the 2 years that he was gone?
Tim Duncan.
Nope, Tim Duncan wasn't even there.
Tim Duncan after Jordan left? After Jordan was out of the league, they went up against the Spurs in the finals and lost.
What are you talking about?
Tim Duncan and the Admiral.
What are you talking about? In 1994? Tim Duncan was in high school.
No, I'm talking about after.
Okay, I'm talking about 1994 or 1996.
Okay,
or 1995.
You're talking about the dream years.
I'm talking about when he went to fucking baseball.
You're talking about
yes, when they were playing
Knicks
Hakeem.
went up against the Rockets.
Hakeem, yeah, and they weren't able to win there.
Ran into the dream,
and you weren't able to beat the fucking Magic to get the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, you had 2 shots, and you had 6 shots at Jordan. I mean, you couldn't get over that Jordan hump, and you couldn't get over the
6 shots of Jordan is
it's a lot of Jordan.
Let's just call him mulligan.
A lot of Jordans, but you have a lot of shots, and you can do something as the biggest market in the United States and the best city, apparently, in the United States, but you are a poorly run franchise. Then look at the 2000s. Terrible signings. Allen Houston, Stephon Marbury, Steve Francis, Amari Stoudemire. The mishandling of Carmelo Anthony, not being able to bring in a star to New York. I mean, you look at L.A., they're able to bring in Shaq. You look at L.A., they're able to bring in Kobe and keep Kobe. They're able to bring in Paul Gasol. They're able to win championships. You look at Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland, I'll actually take out Cleveland. Okay. I don't know if that was rigged, but yeah, because they're going to rig it for Cleveland. Yeah, big market
after
Cleveland.
After the decision, you had to.
I'm saying for LeBron.
No, I'm saying after LeBron.
I'm saying for 2003.
I'm saying after LeBron.
Why what incentive did they have to rig it for Cleveland in 2003?
It's a hometown kid.
Why did they rig it for us when we got Derrick Rose?
Yeah, it's a hometown kid. It's a story.
All right, get your fucking tinfoils hats off here. 85 was proven. There's videotape. And then they're terrible signings. Completely terrible signings. Mm-hmm. You have a terrible owner in James Dolan. You're hiring Phil Jackson, who does not know anything about running a franchise. I mean, he's a fantastic, one of the best coaches of all time. Mm-hmm. He was an okay player, but I mean, he was not. He's just awful GM. I mean, he's assembling the All-Star team of 2011 and 2017. He's a terrible GM, and now he's leaking out terrible information about his star, lowering his value about said star, and now the star saying, no, fuck you, I'm staying in New York, you're the dumbass that gave me a no-trade clause, and it's your fault.
I don't think, and the one thing that I am totally
And also, let
on
me
the
throw
back
one
of,
thing out. Who's worse than the Knicks, poorly run-wise?
I mean, the Nets are right there, and I mean it's the same area, but the
They
Nets
took that
are
poison pill.
Wait, but what do you mean by how the Nets are the poor?
the
how?
Nets are not that like
They hired
did you
Billy
see-
King.
Did you see the trade that they?
That was one
they-
trade.
One trade that was the worst trade.
But
That
they're,
was
going-
probably
they're
worse
feeling
than
the impact for
everything.
about a decade.
But take out the Billy King era, and they're fine.
I would say
They're fine.
I would put the Knicks maybe a notch above the Nets if we're talking
I disagree.
franchises. But the one thing I do want to mention about Philly,
They were in New Jersey too.
and actually bring it into relevancy of what's actually going on right now is I actually think Phil's a genius. I think he's a genius.
What?
The reason why I say that has nothing to do with his
Why is he a genius?
anything. Because he knows, hey, you know what? This is a shit situation. I don't want to be here. Melo doesn't want to be here. So what I can do is I can trash Melo, get everyone pissed, and now it's a situation of if I walk, I don't get the money that I have because he's got two options. Like after this year options. He can either walk, not get the money, or get fired. If he gets fired,
You're talking about Phil.
yeah, Phil. If he
Okay.
gets them so pissed to where they fire him, he gets the money for those last 2 years.
Okay, but
that's what he's
how does
trying
this
to do.
benefit Melo?
It's not.
Phil can just
I'm
quit.
saying, yeah, but if he quits, he doesn't get the money.
Okay,
And
Phil
Dolan
can
said
find
he's not firing him.
Phil can find a job and he's not firing him. So how does this benefit Melo?
But Phil doesn't.
How does this
want a
benefit
job.
his team? How does this benefit his
I
career
think Phil
as
wants
GM?
a job. I think Phil wanted the job.
And Phil
he
can
left
get a
his wife
job
to take
somewhere
the
else.
job.
But it's one of those things where Phil at this point is like, fuck it. If you guys aren't going to, like, I will sit here and tank your team. One of those things. That's what I think. It's all spite going back and forth between Melo, between Phil. I love it. I love watching it.
I can't stand it.
I love
It's
it.
ridiculous.
It's
It's
like
ridiculous.
it's like a New York soap opera.
It's
Just
ridiculous
turn
that
it
the
on.
biggest market in the NBA in the United States cannot put together a good team. I mean, look at the Rangers. The Rangers were able to put together a good team. You get Gretzky, you get Messier. Look at the Yankees, the best franchise in MLB history, winning 27 titles.
That's the
Well,
baseball's
how's it different?
Baseball's different because there's no salary cap.
Yeah. Money just gets thrown.
Steinbrenner just threw money against the wall. And
Okay,
then it
but
stuck.
what about the NHL? There's a salary cap there.
I didn't. I'm saying baseball's different.
Okay, but there's
just for
still
reference,
27 titles.
Dave, just a reference. No one watches hockey.
Yeah, I was gonna. How do you know that?
because I know you, big guy.
I mean, no one watches hockey.
NFL too. Giants.
Yeah.
Maybe the Jets.
No, I mean, it's just-
take out the Jets.
So in the last 10 years,
play in New
from
Jersey.
last year, going back, the worst team record-wise was the Timberwolves, and then the Kings. The Kings people.
Timberwolves got fucked up.
Knicks
by
were fourth. So
Okay, but
I
the
think the Hornets, and then the Knicks.
Kings, small market, and before that you had Mike Bibby, Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic, and Doug Christie that got screwed over by the
So
Lakers in
your
the
highest
Western
was
Conference
a
Finals.
44-win season.
I'm saying before that. When's this taken from?
This was 2005-06 to 14-15.
2002. So this decade went to the Western Conference Finals and got screwed over by the refs and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
Do you know what a
2002.
decade is?
Yeah, no,
It's
and I'm
10
saying,
years.
I'm sorry, since
He's
this
referencing
millennium.
1 year.
This millennium.
That's why I went 10 years.
This millennium.
10 years.
Okay, this millennium. T-Wolves got screwed over by KG.
I'm
KG
just-
left and he's gone.
That's great. I'm just saying they
I'm
are
saying
not well-run
in the
franchises.
history. I'm saying in the
They're
history.
not well-run franchises.
Okay, but I'm
in
saying
recent history. In the last 10 years, they've done nothing.
the Knicks have done nothing either.
The Knicks have won
They
more
have
games.
They have two games.
Carmelo dragged them to.
They had two playoff appearances.
I think the big thing is like, and with me, the Knicks and
Minnesota's
Melo,
also a small market. Sacramento's a small market.
with Knicks and
The Kings
Melo,
are an awful franchise.
Yes, we've talked about them before.
What I think, and this is what I'm bringing it back in, reeling in it, is with Melo and let's even say just the Knicks organization, it's kind of both parties are at fault because not that long ago, Melo was like, I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to go to Chicago. I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to see here. I'm going to see there. You know what? I want to come back and win for New York. But then he takes all
Why do I
this
feel like
money.
you're talking like you're?
It was one
You're
of
like
those-
Donald Trump. I want to come back and win.
No, I mean, it's New York. You got Trump Tower. But, I mean, one of the things is I just think that I feel like in a lot of these conversations, people like to make Melo out like, oh, poor Carmelo.
No, I think
Carmelo.
I think Melo's completely overrated.
Boo-hoo.
I'm thinking Melo's completely overrated. But if Phil Jackson's like, hey, I'm going to back up a ton of money to your door. You're going to live in the place that your wife loves to live, and I'm going to give you a no trade clause. I think Melo would be stupid to say no. I think Melo would be absolutely stupid to say no.
It depends on what you value.
Because while I think Melo shouldn't be saying, I want to be traded, because you're the one who signed the no trade clause. You're the one that signed that contract. If you wanted to stay in New York, then you stay in New York. You don't bitch about it. I think Melo's a complete whiner, and I think Melo needs to stop talking when it comes to being wanted out of New York, because you had the opportunity to go out of New York.
Yep.
I think Phil Jackson's at fault right now because he's the one leaking these stories. He's tanking Melo's trade value. I mean, you are literally now talking about Melo being a salary dump, and that's all he is. You're not talking about Melo where he used to be, where he used to get
The all-star
Danilo
Carmelo
Gallinari.
Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, now you got pudgy Carmelo. I mean, this is a just complete shit show, and not even talking about James Dolan, who is egotistical, who just wants to be the spotlight, who is taking time off in the offseason to work on his band.
It's a business.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
his
not
business, but he's a dumbass.
He's
running it into the ground. You have the biggest market in the United States and aren't able to bring in any free agent. Name the biggest free agent that they've been able to bring in.
Yeah,
that's been successful. You had no knees Amari Stoudemire. You had Stephon Marbury.
Let me throw this out there, and this is if you are a herd watcher like myself. He asked this for like the last 10 years. It seems like, I know it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but like the herd always throws out, when it comes to free agents coming to New York, isn't that something to say nobody wants to play with Carmelo? Isn't that what that means?
But even before that, he brings in Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was a dud of a head coach.
Yeah, but I feel like before Melo came to New York, at least the Knicks were like, you mentioned like Stephon Marbury, all these bad signings, but at least people and players wanted to come to New York. Now that Melo's there, I feel like nobody wants to come there.
The Amari, I don't disagree with you, but I also think that's because of the history the Knicks have. I think the Knicks have a history of bad decisions. I understand what you're saying.
I don't think players right now worry about the history. They're not going back to the 90s. They're focused on
what you're saying, because
staying in the 2000s, they've been a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, no, I see what Ricky's saying though, because
even
it's
Latrell Sprewell.
the dude choked out a coach. We know.
You're giving me all this time to think of bad Knicks signings.
It's not hard.
Just keep giving me.
It's not hard.
Go on, Dave.
Ricky's talking about who wants to go play with one of the most selfish players in the NBA. How does that help you? Because and think about this on top of that. Okay, so say I do want to play with a guy as selfish as Carmelo Anthony offensively, and he's gotten a little better. His assist numbers have gone up a smidge, so maybe he passes a little ball more. But still, you look at that and go, all right, so I got to be in New York. Pretty awesome. I mean, it's not the location of everybody wants to go be in like LA or Miami. Like those are the ideal, like, where's the nicest place in the US to live? LA, Miami. Sure. And then, okay, so
but also New York
is pretty nice.
New York is
it's like a close fourth.
But like looking at it, like New York is the city.
It's the Mecca. I know.
Yeah, it's the Mecca.
But again, it's okay. So look at the situation. Why would you want to go play with him if you're going to run to the buzzsaw that is the Eastern Conference LeBron James Finals?
I don't disagree with that. But
it's hard to pull in top talent when you have to convince them that no, you plus Carmelo is going to win us a championship. But Carmelo hasn't done anything yet.
Can I mention one thing? The Knicks don't have to re-sign Melo. The Knicks don't have to keep Melo.
And that was
the Knicks can make the decision to say, "Hey, Melo, get the fuck out."
And that is a mistake on the Knicks.
How does that make the Knicks a better team? And when that signing happened,
if we're saying that
when that sign happened, let's go back in time.
Okay, but you can either hash out that there's a no trade clause, so you can trade him and move him if he is hurting your team. You cannot make the trade in the first place. I mean, you don't have to trade him in the first place.
He's on the Knicks. So I'm not letting you go that far back.
So you're going back before the 2014-2015 season.
I mean, what scenario would you not want one of the most athletically,
if he's hurting your ability,
gifted teams?
If he's hurting your ability to advance your team, you just said it. Nobody wants to play with Carmelo, so why do you want to sign him?
The whole point is New York, you need to have a draw, and I think that's the pressure that's being put on Phil Jackson and why they had to go out there and why they keep making these bad signings is because they're grasping on to try to stay relevant. I feel like it's what we're seeing in Chicago right now, where it's just like sign names because we need to be relevant. We need people to come give us money, and it doesn't matter. Your team's not going to win a championship as long as you can keep it interesting. People will give you money.
But look at LA. LA fucking tanked. LA tanked to build what they currently are trying to build here.
But they had literally one of the top 10 greatest players of all time, and Kobe Bryant there. They got to watch him play out his entire career. They got to watch Shaq and Kobe. Then they got to watch the old man Lakers team. Then they got to watch Kobe and Gasol. Like, they had the rings. They had that. So you get that leeway with the fan base. New York, you said it, hasn't won since 73. Like, I'm sorry, that's a fan base that fucking hates you at that point, but they're still loyal as hell. So, like, if you have a fan base that loves you that much, you want to give them something on the court. You can't go all out and just say, hey, look, we're going to tank. Especially if the league has punished the 76ers and has pretty much...
If you wanted to give them something good
disavowed that
if
whole
you wanted
strategy.
to give them something to watch, you'd give them something to watch for 20 years and not a shit show that's going on with D Rose, Carmelo, and even you have Kristaps. I mean, Kristaps can draw in a little bit. I mean, Kristaps is still a phenomenal player. I mean, he's going to be severely hurt if he doesn't have players like D Rose and Carmelo, but he's also not going to be able to take that next step of leading a team. I mean,
right.
I look at the Knicks and you see you see Dolan and just he's calling out Oakley for Oakley's alcoholism. I mean, does Oakley want that public? Just leave that in the dark.
There will be lawyers involved. I think I was listening to ESPN radio like in the afternoon on the ride home, and they're like the stuff that Dolan was saying about the alcohol problems, the rage problems. I don't know if it's true about the fights outside of. Like, he gets in altercations because of his anger issues.
Oakley's been, I think, in a couple of altercations. But also, I mean, Oakley, he was saying that Oakley was saying racial and sexual things, and everyone around him was like, no, Oakley was fine. And then just guys came over. Because Oakley has trashed James Dolan. I mean, James Dolan is an egotistical maniac who just wants to make money. And I'm not blaming him that
and you hear
he
about
wants
the
to
Oakley
make
alert.
money.
You know, the man should be alerted anytime Oakley comes in the building.
Yeah,
and that was up to this point. Now he's banned from the building at this point.
I'm not blaming him for wanting to make money.
Yeah.
But I think that New York Knicks fans should want James Dolan out of power because he's making stupid decisions. Isaiah Thomas, Derek Fisher, Phil Jackson. I mean, there's a consistent trend of making terrible decisions. Signings
going
of
into
players,
the Phil signing,
of,
like we've only watched this man succeed. He won as a player. He won as a coach with multiple organizations. Mm-hmm. I know that VP of basketball operations is a new role, and he's never done it before.
Yeah.
And he's been extremely critical of those who were in that role in the past. So it's an interesting thing to say that it's a bad move at the time, because when it initially happened, we're like, okay, Zen Master's coming back, and he can bring some structure. He knows how to win as an organization. So he can bring this culture to New York. He can get us back on the right track, and I totally bought in. And as far as the people talk about, he just did it for the money. Look, if he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't have done it. He left LA. He left his home, his family, and recently he's was public about his breakup with his wife. And I feel like
were they married? It doesn't matter.
Whatever, marriage or relationship, we can say. And it's just like all this stuff is hitting the fan at once. I'm sure that doesn't help him, but at the time of the signings, both he and Carmelo, I feel like both of them were the most logical move. Now, at this point, you can go, all right, it's time for us to split.
Always 2020.
Right. But this time, okay, maybe it's time for us to split, because maybe I know Dolan came out saying he wouldn't fire him, but like, look, Phil, you might just have to admit this role isn't for me. This isn't where I can help an organization.
And I mean,
but he's also, real quick, that I just want to throw in, that Phil Jackson wants to be a coach. I mean,
he wants to be a coach, but he doesn't want to be responsible to sit on the sideline
Pat
every
Riley
game.
knew when to step in. Phil Jackson doesn't know when to step in. He's stepping on toes.
Well,
yeah.
Phil Jackson kind of seems like he's the micromanager where it's like, okay, I'll let you coach. No, wait, you're not doing. He's that parent
doing it
that's
wrong.
like, he's like, okay, sweetie, go do your project. No.
Just give me the markers.
I'll just do it. I'll just do it. It'll do right.
Do you want to color inside the lines?
The one thing that I was looking at is when Dave asked the question of, go back to 2014, what would you do? And I just pulled up the free agent list.
Yep.
And going down, this is a CBS list they ranked them. So obviously the more important ones are going to be at the top. LeBron James. He went to Cleveland. He wasn't going to go to New York.
Not a chance.
Chris Bosh. Now that's one I feel like the Knicks could have probably drew him away from
him
Miami.
And Wade were pretty close.
But would you have wanted to, knowing that Bosh isn't playing right now? Nowitzki wasn't going to be drawn away from the Mavericks.
Not a chance.
Kyle Lowry, maybe you could have drew him away from Toronto.
But the thing is we're dealing with maybes. They didn't sign there. They didn't fucking sign.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
could they have made a better move?
Could they have made a better move? Is what I'm going off.
They could have. Do you want? This is what I should say.
And the one guy I did see that might have been like, okay, that would have been one, and I'm not exactly sure if he was restricted because he was coming off of a entry-level deal, Isaiah Thomas. That was the year he got the contract that he's currently on with the Celtics.
To be fair,
He was
at the
unrestricted
time,
because I think he got traded.
Yeah, at the time, he also wasn't valued anywhere near what he is now.
Yeah.
Oh, another bad signing for the Knicks, Bargnani.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just toss him.
Jose Calderon.
Who says no? Who says no?
You're just helping
better
me.
in
You're
experience.
just helping me. I mean, the thing is just you. I look at the Knicks and I think they are the worst run NBA franchise because you are in the biggest city in the NBA. You're in the biggest city in the United States.
Yeah.
You're in the Mecca. You're in the place where all business happens. Carmelo's there because he wants to build his brand. His wife's there because she wants to build her brand.
Yep.
LeBron James should be salivating to be going to New York. I understand there's the hometown ties and that he had that, but if he didn't have those hometown ties, he should probably be, oh my God. The reason why Jordan wasn't ever tempted by New York is because Chicago was the third largest market in the NBA. He wasn't tempted by LA because they weren't, Chicago's still big enough market.
Let me put it this way. Do you think that in 2014, New York could have realistically drawn LeBron away from the kind of idealism of going home?
I'm saying if he won a finals in Cleveland before he went to Miami, then maybe.
But he did choose Dwayne Wade over Carmelo Anthony.
True, he did.
We're going way back now, but
but I'm
going back 7 years.
Jesus Christ!
But I'm not making that argument. But what I'm trying to say though is,
you were all in on that.
But
one,
also that
I thought we had a shot. The Bulls
that goes
had a
towards the genius of Pat Riley. I mean, Pat Riley is just a mastermind.
He is.
I mean, look what Miami's doing right now.
I think it makes you respect guys who are in the role who are succeeding now and make you go, yeah, that's not so easy of a job there, Phil. Because he was super critical of Krause at the time, and he absolutely hated dealing with them. In LA, it was similar, not as bad, but it was still like, I'm gonna point some things out that here's where you could do better for me, and now he's in the role where he can't do it.
Yeah,
he just can't do it.
I'm gonna get so much shit for talking crap about the Knicks, but I don't care.
You know what?
Name one of those players who succeeded.
I'm not like
Carmelo hasn't even succeeded.
Well, I mean, it depends what you call succeeding for Carmelo.
I would take
sold
Nuggets Melo
a lot of
over
merch.
New York Melo. What's up, bud?
My final thoughts is I'm not against you. They are a terrible run franchise.
I would say they're the worst.
I just don't think they're the worst because I think that, to me, I would put the Nets as the worst run franchise in the league. But hey, it's all opinion. I am going to say the Knicks, they are a terrible run franchise, except for the one pass I will give them in the 90s is, 6 of those 9 years they had to run against the best player in the NBA of that era, and Reggie that 1 year. Reggie couldn't beat him the first year, but he got him the second year. Too bad it wasn't the conference.
Yeah. One thing that I will throw out is for Brooklyn, you had the worst GM in the history of the NBA in Billy King.
Yep.
2, New Jersey. New Jersey's a piece of shit. Just New Jersey. I mean,
like New York's butthole.
You just exactly.
Staten Island?
That's a garbage. It's not even Staten Island. Staten Island's still New York. New Jersey.
He wants to go Jersey Shore. Just let him go Jersey Shore.
New Jersey's just trash. New Jersey's just completely trash. And then
Gym Tan Laundry. That's all I do. Gym Tan Laundry.
But now even Brooklyn's making moves with Sean Marks. I think that
they're at least lining things up. They're making an effort.
They're pushing towards the right way. And even look at when they were in New Jersey, Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson, Vince Carter, they had to have a shot. And they made it to a finals and lost to the Lakers, right? Or am I completely forgetting that wrong? I'm going to look it up.
I don't know.
Yeah, they won the conference title in 2012 and in 2013. So they went back-to-back finals against the Spurs and the Nets. So, I mean, they were able to get there. They just weren't able to get over the hump of Kobe.
That's why I'm going
Tim
with
Duncan.
the Kings. I think the Kings are the worst run franchise.
But even the Kings back in 2012, or not 2012, I'm sorry,
2002.
2002. Hey, when was the last time?
There were some bad calls away.
When was the last time the Knicks were in the fucking Eastern Conference Finals?
A little bit further.
Long time ago. I wasn't even born. At least I was a fan of the Kings back then.
But again, the Kings are continuously bad, and there's no hope
for the
them.
Knicks.
But there's no fucking hope for the Kings.
There's no hope for the fucking Knicks.
Knicks have been a playoff team.
Yeah,
but how many times were we like, the Knicks can?
Being
at
a
least they can make the playoffs. Boogie,
over being
goose egg.
a top 5 pick.
So you want to argue Boogie versus Carmelo at this point because you were basically saying they're similar guys. Unfortunately, Sacramento's a slightly smaller town than New York.
Boogie's younger, and that's one thing. I mean, you look at Sacramento. Who the fuck wants to go to Sacramento?
But the problem is they haven't drafted anybody good enough.
Yeah, that's the GM's fault. That's the owner's fault.
They can't get anybody there.
I'm not going to argue.
Isaiah Thomas was there, wasn't he?
They drafted him.
Yeah.
They drafted him.
Where'd he go? Because they traded him. Yeah.
They traded him.
So you got rid of the guy who
I'm not
actually
defending
was.
the Knicks. You know me.
I'm just trying to say
They
that.
drafted fucking Papa Giannis.
Yep.
Just
Papa
saying.
John's.
Papa John's. They drafted Papa John's. I'm saying the Knicks have done this consecutively for years. Years. Since
All right, so
1873.
you got the Knicks as your worst run organization. I got the Kings, and you've got the.
I want
It used to be the
I want to go
Cubs.
with the Nets.
It used to be the Cubs in sports, but they were able to finally turn the table.
I think it was because we were poorly run. I just think
Yeah,
that,
they were the worst run franchise. That's what I'm saying. They were the worst run franchise.
There was a certain C word, curse that got in our way.
Oh my
But I'm
God, no.
even saying before Epstein, before Theo, they were the worst run franchise. You can't disagree with that. And then you finally got some hope with Theo
We just made a lot of bad moves.
because you were a poorly run franchise.
At least we got free agents to come in. They just didn't pan out for us.
But so you're the New York Knicks. You need that change. You need that culture change in New York, and you need it badly. You need to just drain everything. I mean, there's
Drain the
something.
swamp.
Oh,
There's
God,
something
I knew that was coming.
that I want
You tried to work around
I
it.
want
You
to
just
avoid it.
hammered it home.
But yeah, no, I
Just
just
smack the nail in when you put it
I
out
think
there.
if we're looking at poorly run franchises, I think the Bulls and the Knicks do stick out. You're looking at me that
Overall, the Bulls are a
I'm not saying
franchise.
I'm not saying they're
I mean, you
like
did.
one of the worst run franchises, but they're poorly run.
Yeah.
You can't say they're not.
Oh, right now they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought we were
I'm saying-
talking longer
I'm
than
saying,
like a year
I'm saying
or two.
they're parallel. They're parallel.
Okay.
They're parallel where they bring in names just to stay relevant. All they want to do is sell out tickets, and they happen into luck with some draft picks, but they're never able to get over that hump because of terrible owners in Reinsdorf and Dolan and terrible GMs and Garpax and Phil Jackson. And previous before that, I believe Isaiah Thomas had some role in player development, right? He wasn't just the head
Possibly.
coach. I just
I don't even
remember
know anymore.
there was terrible decisions in New York, and they need to clean up.
I feel like the Knicks will not be able to get past this until either management changes or if Melo's gone. Melo needs
I
to
think both
leave.
need to happen.
I think both need to happen.
I don't think New York's ever going to bring somebody in that's not drafted, that's of quality, while Melo is still in a Knickerbocker jersey.
I think both need to happen. I think both need to happen bad. And please let this be the last time we talk about the Knicks because I'm so sick of talking about the Knicks. Thank you. Oh, shit. Oh, it's just one of our videos scared me a little bit. Don't forget to check out that one. And also don't forget to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.